it's the end of the world, 'cause you don't love me anymore. Why do the birds go on singing? Oh, why do the stars glow above? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. I wake up in the morning and I wonder why everything's the same.
So that, lords and ladies, was the possible, I say possible, we don't know for sure, Fallout 4 trailer teaser music or trailer music. Nobody knows for sure. It was sort of decoded, decrypted from this website, which I'll be talking about in a bit, Survivor2029.com. And if you listen to it, it does bear an uncanny resemblance to the intro or the trailer music of Fallout 3. You have the 50-ish undertones, and it kind of fades off into something more serious, maybe menacing, epic, and I think the resemblance is rather uncanny. And this was taken from that website, decoded in some way. I don't really know how. I managed to track it down and record it, but nobody knows for sure. But this video is about Fallout 4 news. Fallout 4 is one of the major titles on my radar. It's one of the major titles in general, but a title that's majorly on my radar. Fallout 3, of course, came out in 2008, and it's been approximately 5 years hence, which would more or less dovetail with Bethesda's production schedule of approximately 5 to 6 years between big games. As you know, Bethesda produces massive, large-scale sandbox games with tons of exploration possibilities, a la Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas, so on and so forth. So it would make sense. Now, before I go into all the stuff from the actual website and the speculation, let me just give you the reasons why I think Fallout 4 is coming quite soon. Once again, as I said just now, as I cited, this fits in with Bethesda's ritual of development and production. I'll argue in a second that I think it's going to come out in 2014, sometime during that year, in the coming year. And that would be about then 6 years since the release of Fallout 3. It would make sense, just from their schedule perspective. And that's not written in stone. There's no way to prove this irrevocably, but I think you can use past performance often as a gauge of measuring release time. With some companies, you can't do that really with BioWare, unfortunately. You can do that reasonably well with Bethesda. Now, beyond that, which is just sort of a hypothesis, which is reasonably a decent one, I think, there's this website, as you can see here, Survivor2099.com. And a couple of weeks ago, it started a timer saying, nuclear winter is coming. Now, it turns out that this website is owned by the parent company of Bethesda, ZeniMax. And that would allude to the distinct possibility that this is, in fact, some kind of hint or allusion to an announcement of Fallout 4. This is, of course, nothing new. People have been talking about this, although I think I'm one of the first people to mention or to have this possible trailer bit that might have been leaked. But for better or worse, this is this website, and there seems to be a lot of stuff going on. Now, it's constantly updated, and there's sort of these Morse code messages that have been revealed back and forth, giving the hints at, for example, where exactly the next game could take place. So, for example, recently there was a decoding of some Morse code talking about the Quabbin Reservoir. Now, those of you not from the United States and those of you not from the Northeast of the United States, the Quabbin Reservoir is the largest body of water, inland that is, in the state or Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There have been a couple of other hints, references to the Boston Tea Party. I'd say, based on many of these hints that we've been hearing, that we're at the point where, even though it's still speculative, it's not highly speculative. I think the evidence is certainly not rock solid, but it's pretty good evidence to suggest that the next Fallout title will be in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the Boston, Massachusetts area. I have mixed feelings about this. I think it's great that they'd have a title in the Northeast. If I had to live in the United States, I'd probably only live in the Northeast. But I had actually hoped for something outside of the United States. Now, I'm well aware that the Great War between China and the United States that leveled both countries into a wasteland took place between those two countries. But I would have loved to have seen a Fallout 4 in London, for example. Just a completely different take on things. But I suppose, keeping the tradition going in Boston, I would have loved to even see even more New York, my hometown. That would have been a lot more interesting, but into my mind. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. So highly, highly likely it's going to take place in Boston. Beyond the location, there's some speculation as to when on the timeline it starts. There's even speculation, for example, that it might start just prior to the war, because all the warnings about nuclear war coming and so on and so forth. I think that's unlikely. I can't imagine Bethesda doing some kind of prequel, although, you could argue that Elder Scrolls Online is a 1,000-year prequel to the events in Skyrim, but so what? Or it could be contemporaneous with the events of Fallout New Vegas. Impossible to know. That really is baseless speculation. People are we have no grounds to believe either or, whether it'll be a sequel, a contemporaneous piece, or a prequel. It's just not known. So I'm not going to offer my 2 cents on that, because it would be based on nothing but just random wild guesses. So we almost know that it's going to take place in the so-called Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And that's pretty much it. And I mean, I'm being real with you. I'm looking at the information I've gathered from the ZeniMax page. What we actually know is just a highly refined hypothesis right now that, based on the illusions that have been offered through the decrypted Morse code, we know it's going to take place in highly likely in Massachusetts. Quabbin Reservoir, allusions to the Boston Tea Party, and so on and so forth. And this trailer, I'm not saying it is music. Like I said, allegedly could be, if some sources sort of be believed, the trailer music to the coming title that was somehow leaked. Could be a hoax too. I don't know. But I thought, for the sake of elucidation, I'd post it up here, let you have a listen. I think the resemblance is fairly uncanny. Remember, Fallout 4 has that whole 50s musical thing going, a different world, a different mindset. The whole world is essentially different to our world. So So that's really what the news entails right now. We don't, I mean, we have just little tidbits and hints, most of them just talking about location, so we know it's going to be in Massachusetts most likely. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine. Nobody knows. However, the other thing the Survivor 2099.com page alludes to is an announcement, I believe, coming on the 11th of December. Whether that crystallizes or not is unknown. But I think it's safe to say that sometime during the month of December, there's going to be an announcement of the game, relating to the game, pertaining to the game. Something perhaps about, maybe it'll be a trailer, maybe it'll be a basic introduction to what the game is about. Maybe it'll just be an official release date or a quarter release date. What quarter of 2014 will be released? Who knows? Total speculation. Like I said, that trailer in the beginning might be the trailer music to the trailer of Fallout 4, and it's probably going to take place in Massachusetts. That's it. So I've said my piece about the news. You can only talk so much about what is unsubstantiated. So let's talk about Fallout in general. Highly anticipated game. I'm anticipating it. I think the two titles I'm anticipating the most for the year 2014. I know everyone's going to say The Witcher 3. I know it's a great game. I'm unlikely to play it, though. Dragon Age Inquisition, and on the flip side, a very different kind of game, Fallout 4. I love the post-apocalyptic setting, although I do tend to be more of a fantasy aficionado and buff. I do like the Fallout series very much. At least almost on par with Elder Scrolls, or perhaps on par as well. I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts in the way of what direction the Fallout series could take. Obviously, the tradition has been very successful. The sandbox post-apocalyptic world, I think, Bethesda would be foolish. They took over for Fallout 3, taking over. Remember, sorry for jumping thoughts here, but Fallout was originally Obsidian's baby, and of course Fallout 4 was an Obsidian piece, and Bethesda looks to be taking over Fallout 4, so we'll see. A couple of things I wouldn't mind seeing, not really big things, because without really knowing what's coming and what new things will be added, it's just guesswork, but certainly more mature graphics, that would be nice. That was very welcome with Skyrim. The game seemed a lot, even just vanilla, a lot crisper. Looked better overall. I'd like to see more fluid combat as well. I think Skyrim combat was overall done pretty well. Of course, the perk system that we have in Skyrim was, of course, imported from the Fallout series. So, there you go. That's why I just can't really think of what could they add. I remember maybe it was 2010 or so. I said, I hope that the next Elder Scrolls has a perk system. And, lo and behold, they put it in there. So those are some just greater fluidity of combat, graphics. Otherwise, I don't really have a whole lot of range of thoughts on this because, yeah, there were issues, but then there were so many mods that corrected the issues. I think we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm highly likely to do some kind of LP when it comes out. The prerequisite for this, though, is probably going to be a new rig. This is the whole. This is what it all hinges on, essentially, for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that I'm able to access a new rig for the next generation of games in 2014. I have a feeling a lot of this is going to release approximately a year hence in autumn of 2014. That's when DI, Dragon Age Inquisition is being released. I suspect that's when The Witcher 3 is going to be released, even though I'm not likely to play that. And I imagine that they'd probably release Fallout 4 somewhere in that time frame as well. So not much time to somehow accrue the money to get a new rig. But that's going to be a prerequisite. That said, assuming I do have a rig that can run it reasonably well, I'm definitely going to be playing Fallout 4. Probably do an LP. Probably do extensive talks about it. It's definitely a game I'm going to probably want to put under the microscope. I tend to focus on games 1 or 2, maximum 3, very intensely. Always been that way. I doubt it'll change. So once Dragon Age Inquisition and Fallout come out in 2014, I think those will probably be my babies for a while, and I'll be concentrating a great deal on them. But yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, there's not that much news because all of the stuff is speculative, apart from the seeming fact that, or the heavy, elusive messages that, yeah, it'll take place in Massachusetts. And that trailer, maybe, is the trailer music, uncanny resemblance to Fallout 3 for the coming game. Anyway, we can expect most likely an announcement of some sort in December. When exactly is once again speculative, not known, but well, I guess we'll see. So anyway, that's that bit of news for Fallout 4. We'll just have to be patient and hope that Bethesda comes through for us. Of course, given the tradition of 5-6 years thereabouts, I think there's good evidence to suggest that we will be hearing an announcement, possibly release date, possibly something else. It's not that far off. Let's hope we're all alive by the time it comes out, by the time the announcement is made. And yeah, having said that, may the gods watch over you. Take care. Bye-bye.